Welcome to selfdiscoverymedia.com, where we discover the communities that are making a difference in the lives of others. Our self-discovery is something we are all making on our life's journey. Here you will find the people that will be your guidance, that will be your inspiration, that will be there for you in support on your journey of life. Do enjoy. Our next show is... Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Choose Positive Living right here on selfdiscoverymedia.com. I'm your host, Sarah Troy, and my guest again for a lovely, wonderful series with him is Tom Negelo with Master Kuthumi. And we're going to be talking today about self-responsibility. Well, I know it's not a word that you like to hear, but I think at the present moment, some little responsibility needs to be stepped in. I invite you to go back to both his and his wife Shelley's shows. All you have to do is put in Dr. Shelley and Tom Negelo in the sidebar at selfdiscoverymedia.com, and you're going to see all the wonderful shows that we've done on relationships, on women leaders during COVID, there's been about 6 or 7 shows here, I think, and just so much wisdom coming through both Tom, Shelley, and Kuthumi that it's not to be missed, because I know we're all looking for answers right now. And when you tune into these shows, you're going to find some of those answers. Maybe not everything, but certainly something that you need to know. So it's all a question of participating and being a part of the question, so you even know what answer is relative to you. Hi, Tom. How are you?
Hi, I'm very good. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
For having me here.
Yeah, good to have you back again. And I love the topic responsibility. We love to point a finger. It's the government's fault. It's the parents' fault. It's the system's fault. But there's 3 pointing back at us and going, if you don't like it, then change it. Take responsibility for the change. But suddenly everybody goes, what? I've got to take responsibility? It throws them into a panic.
Yeah, I think the thing here is that whether we like it or not, whether we experience it or not, we're responsible. We can look outside of ourselves and say, oh, this person, this thing, the government, the boss, the job did it to me. It's real easy to do that, but it's not going to get you anywhere, because you're always carrying yourself. I'll put it this way: you're always outside of yourself. If you can't get home with how you're acting, what you're doing, what you're thinking, the illusions that you may be having, whatever they may be, that's all you're doing. Now, of course, maybe somebody has in fact done something to you, and that's real. But certainly how you react to it, or rather how you respond to it, well, that's your responsibility. We live in a real world. We can't keep people from not liking us, arguing with us, whatever the case may be. That's not going to stop. But how you are with it, whether you have let go of whatever it is that's driving your upset or anger, and you looking at them going, oh, they did it to me, that's the reason I am the way I am. That's false. And It's not going to get you, it's not going to give you growth, and it's not going to give you clarity about where you are and what you want to get to.
Right. I mean, Kuthumi is a wonderful spirit that comes through you, and we will most certainly be having him on when he's ready, and he's going to impart some wonderful knowledge from the universe. And, when we decide to do an inside-out job, which is what responsibility is taking accountability for our actions coming from the heart and soul of ourselves. So I'm coming from the spirit of ourselves, being accountable for our thoughts and what we say and how we interact with life. And that comes from the inside. And, Kuthumi is one of these people that will speak to that, speak to igniting our heart and souls, and show us how to press those buttons on the inside. Because when we go in, we see the answers we seek, because we start feeling them, we start understanding them. Responsibility isn't a dirty word. You don't need to run away from it. The accountability is also not a word that we're punishing you with. It's that I'm responsible and accountable for my choices in life. And those choices will change according to what is happening in my life or happening around me that I have to navigate through. And we seek the wisdom that we need in order to help us navigate through those so we can make good choices from ourselves from the inside out.
Yes, exactly. And when people think about responsibility, very often they have, I'm to blame.
Yes. Oh
It's,
gosh. Yes.
it's my fault. And that's something that us human beings very often really don't want to, we really don't want to examine that, because what goes on with you, you're not to blame for how you are. You are the way you are. The thing is that you can shift that, you can change it, you can literally let go of the energy of the things that get in your way of what it is you want to have happen. A lot of people, when they think about responsibility, they think about it in a negative way, rather than think about it in a way that, well, with energy, let's say, just to give you an example, we think about energy as positive and negative.
Yeah.
That energy doesn't care how you think about it.
Yeah.
Particles spin and do what particles
Its
do.
feelings aren't going to be hurt.
Yeah, really don't care. They don't care. We care because when we can label it and identify it and understand it, well, then we can use it, and that makes sense. However, in the using of it, the particles don't care. Like we said, they don't have an opinion. Now, there aren't good particles and bad particles. There isn't even, I'm going to go as far to say there isn't good and bad in general for us human beings. Now, there are things we like, we call that good. The things we don't like, we call that bad. But are they really bad or good? No, they're just part of the energy. And when we learn to use those, especially the emotions and how we are and what's going on around us, use it to support us in doing and creating and having what it is we want, and that supports others, well, then that's being responsible. Rather than looking at the things that don't work and saying, oh, I'm going to ignore that. No, look at what doesn't work. Find out what the energy of it is. Discover what it is that that isn't helping, isn't supporting you about those things, and shift it and let go of what you need to have your life be the way you want it to be. And that's what healing is. Healing is moving both the emotions and the thinking and the spirit, and also, most importantly, maybe the most important thing is letting it go out of the physical body, so those things just aren't there anymore. And when they're not there, you're not reacting to it. Now you have the, if I will, space, the opportunity to respond. How am I going to respond to this? When you're responding, not reacting, then you're responsible.
Yeah. We have to understand that programming is not only this lifetime's programming, which is societal and dictatorial and traditional. It is in our DNA, it's in our ancestral DNA, it's in our past life DNA. And we have to, our Akashic record, we have to actually look at what is our programming and why am I reacting in that way? Why am I not taking responsibility? Why do I look to everybody else to be responsible for me? And where is the patterning? Where is that programming within us? Because that is something that we need to address, is that are you reacting to something happening to you that is your personal reaction, or a conditioned, a programmed reaction to something? And I think, looking to our past and look at, you don't serve me anymore, delete. It doesn't mean that you never remember it, but you don't have to feel the pain or the confusion or be trapped by it anymore. So just like we have to in our house and in everything else, we need to declutter, we need to clean house, we need to sort out. We need to do that within ourselves as well, because we're carrying such a heavy weight all the time that half the time does not need to be there. And that makes us make decisions that really do not surface. And you say, but I'm being responsible. How can you be responsible in this chaos, in this mess? You need to have some cleansingness around you in order to have the clarity to be responsible on your decisions.
Yes, that's absolutely true. Now, it begs the question, how do you do that? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's good to know that that's what you have to do, and perhaps look at yourself and see what's working and what isn't working. But when you discover something that isn't working, how do you change that?
Yeah.
You can't change it just by thinking about it. And sometimes you can't even change it by doing different action, because when you're reacting from the past, your different action is going to be the same, except it's going to perhaps look different. There'll be a, it's like painting. I don't like this gray wall, I'm going to paint it blue. Well, you still have the wall, and it's a
Yeah.
blue.
Yeah.
So really, you have to discover and how to actually let go of something like that, because, like you said, it is so ingrained in us.
Yeah.
It's in the genetic DNA, it's in the molecular DNA, it's all those reactions and emotions are there. Whether they get triggered or not, maybe sometimes yes, maybe sometimes no. But that's where they live. They live in the body. So you've got to learn how to let these things go out of your body, let the reactivity. If it's an emotion, let's say anger, because it's such a good one, the body reacts
Very prevalent
strongly.
right now.
Yeah, very strongly to that emotion. So you can, like I said, be at cause, which means you're looking at it, you're using it, and in the using of whatever emotion it may be, that emotion dissipates and disappears because, quite frankly, you're too busy creating.
Yeah. We love, I think, with responsibility to put the word blame. You're responsible for this. It's your fault. We love to do that instead of taking ownership and responsibility ourselves.
Yeah, it's easy.
We're looking in the world right now of zero COVID still here, and going to be here for a while longer, because some people are refusing to take responsibility for the simple things of distancing, covering up, washing hands. And some people think it's still a conspiracy. And or some people think it's, it's just here to stay now. It's the luck of the draw whether you live or die. And if we all took responsibility for our own actions in this time, in consideration, in common sense, then we would see better results out there. But I feel that the responsibility is constantly being bucked and passed on. It's not my responsibility. It's government's responsibility. It's the health organization's responsibility. It's everybody else's but mine. And until you're willing to own that responsibility, obviously that accountability needs to be there. But so many people run away from this just from I don't want to. I prefer passing the buck. I prefer having someone to blame rather than take responsibility for my own actions. And what do we do with that?
Well, the only thing we can do with that is just what you said, be responsible for ourselves. If everybody would be responsible for themselves in a way that the way that we're all inclusive, not that we're all the same, because we're not, but taking responsibility for ourselves is also, when you understand the energy of it, is also being responsible for everybody else.
Yeah.
And that's difficult enough to take responsibility for ourselves. When we start to get into energetically, we're responsible for everyone else, that's a little more difficult. And rather than try and figure that out, if you can just accept that, okay, I'm responsible for myself first.
Yeah.
And I'm responsible for everybody else. What do I do now?
Right.
If you
you're opening up now, aren't you?
Just kind of try it on like a coat.
Yeah.
Let's see how it fits. Let's see how it feels. It's winter. What am I going to do with it?
Yep.
Where am I going to go? How am I going to create with that? With that idea that energy, it'll start to make life a lot easier, because some of the things that we were being irresponsible for, now we find ourselves being responsible. because ultimately it's about you.
Well, you know,
And
taking the coat analogy is that, you know, in the old days, not so long ago, you know, we would buy these heavy wool coats, you know, quilted, and they kept us warm and kind of windproof, but they were heavy. And so, you know, when you went out into the cold, you went out literally with the weight on. And now they've come up with these thin coats that are incredibly insulated and totally lightweight. You hardly know they're on, and they keep you extremely warm. Which coat are you going to go for? Are you going to go
yeah,
back to the heavy one to weigh you down, or are you going to go to the light one? Because now you can move faster, longer in the lightness of it.
yeah. And so that's, you know, that's new technology, let's say.
Yes. And that's
But
where we can look at this new technology as helping us be responsible,
yeah, yeah. Well,
right?
I was going to say the new technology we've developed, not because it's easier, and it may
Mm-hmm.
be, but because it's more efficient.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the clearer we become about ourselves, the more we let go of what's in the way of experiencing our responsibility as something that's really real for us, then we're dipping into that new technology in a way that again supports us in moving forward.
I mean, the biggest problem is a lot of people will say, well, I don't know how. And what am I meant to do? I'm only one person. And, you know, I say to this that we are trillions of cells in our body, and every single cell has an important job to do. Be healthy, right? Be healthy because you're keeping the cell next to you healthy, and so on and so on. When the cellular structure breaks down, it starts rippling throughout the body, and now you have the whole body, you know, facing a disease or illness of some kind. If we look upon ourselves as a cellular in amongst the structure of humanity, and that it is actually our job to be
Yep.
healthy, mind, body, and soul, the best of our abilities, so we can be as productive as possible. And I don't mean financially productive, I mean in service, in our contribution. We will actually understand the abundance of the collective, of the wholeness, of the whole energy coming together. But
Yeah.
we are responsible for our cellular structure.
Yeah, there's something called homeostasis, which is the body's natural ability the cell's natural ability to repair. And like you said, when one cell is repaired, then the cells surrounding can, and it's all one structure.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way I think our human society is. We're one structure. Well, various cells have various jobs, and various
Mm-hmm.
organs do various things, but it all is in one package. And when we're taking care of part of it, ultimately we're taking care of all of it.
Yeah. And
So
again, that's all the energy, isn't it? It's the energy
yeah,
being allowed to run through our bodies, you know, the constant flow. Because when we have stagnancy, we have blockage, and that means the energy is not getting through to where it needs to go to do the work it needs to do. It is the fuel for everything. And so, and our
absolutely.
emotions can be that blockage. And so we've got to really look at those emotions and say, you know, what are they here for? Are they're stuck and unable to move on? Do I need to delete them? Do I need to acknowledge them? But whatever you've got to do, you've got to release them, because they're stopping
Yeah.
that energy flowing.
What I say with emotions is don't get caught up in it.
Yeah.
If you're sad, you can be sad for a while, you're going to laugh, whatever it is, but don't get caught up in it. Rather, learn to use it. It's like you
Yeah.
said, it's energy,
Yes.
it's neurology,
Yeah.
it's brain neurology.
Right.
And the more you use that neurology to create what you want, to do what you want, to have what you want, to support other people, the more you use it that way, the less the emotion gets in the way of what it is you want. So you don't have to get out of being angry. Well, you know, don't dump it on somebody else. But if you're
Right.
angry, you're angry. So learn to use the emotion.
Yes, it's there for a reason. It's indicating something,
As
you
you
know?
learn to use it, those emotions now will become less addictive.
Yeah.
They'll become less. Um, you react to them less, and teach yourself literally how to use them.
You're right. You know, as they tap into your emotions, every single one of them has a reason, and they could be beautiful, even the angry ones, because they're a way of seeing something and rectifying it, but don't become emotional about them. That's where we
Yeah.
get stuck, is when we become emotional about an emotion, instead of recognizing that emotion is an indication of where you're at the moment. So address where you're at, whether it be good or bad, and
Then
tap
move
in
on.
accordingly.
Yeah, and then move on. I think it's time to bring in Kuthumi.
Wonderful.
Um,
You're going to let
let me,
everybody know what your process is, so they're not, if they're the first timers, they're not looking at this and going, what?
first of all, Kuthumi is Ascended Master Kuthumi. He is the combined energy of St. Francis of Assisi, Pythagoras, and the Shah Jahan. The Shah Jahan is the guy who built, the Indian leader, who built the Taj Mahal. The combined energy of those three is the energy of unconditional love. And Kuthumi has called me the voice of unconditional love. So I honor that. Channeling, let me just talk about channeling very briefly. Channeling is using normal energy, just like us human beings use energy to move through our bodies and do what it is we do. The difference is that to be, let's say to be Tom, if energy was between here and here, then I'm using a piece of that energy, a frequency of that energy to do Tom stuff. The difference is with Kuthumi, Kuthumi is a different piece or different frequency of that energy. And as I release my energy, I'll talk about that in a second, the energy of Kuthumi comes through and speaks. I am a trance channel, which means I'm in a deep meditative trance. I have no memory of what's happened, what's happening, what's been said. My experience is everything goes to black, and nothing happens until I come back sometime later. Kuthumi will talk for, it's a short channeling, a mini channeling, so 10 minutes or so, maybe 15. And then, please ask whatever questions you have. Okay, Shelley is here as well. Body voice, you'll hear her.
Yes, indeed. Hello.
Here she is. So if there's a question that she thinks is appropriate, she'll ask it as well. And as you listen to this, listen several times, because each time you listen, you may hear something a little bit different and a little bit deeper, and reaches into a place that you haven't perhaps explored or noticed before.
Right.
I will take some deep breaths. My face will change. And Kuthumi, you'll see Kuthumi come in, and he'll start to speak, and he'll say specifically when it's time to ask questions. So go ahead and do that. Or you know the drill. You've been here before.
I've been here before, yes.
Okay. I will see you later. Well now, good day to you, my dears. And how are you on such a fine day that this is?
Delighted to see you again, Kuthumi. I can't
Very
wait
good,
to see
very
what
good.
news.
Delighted is a wonderful place to be, you will see. How can you become more delighted? How can you have more joy? More importantly, how do you experience love fully in your life, you see? Now, some people say, well, more love is better. No, you cannot have more love. You can only have love, you see. There cannot be more, because all of the experience that you are, all of the experience that you have, all of the energy of the universe is love within you. So just like you cannot access more physical energy in the body, universal energy in the body, you have the amount you have, and that is all of universal energy. Just like this, you have all of the love that is within you. You see? It is all love. And so the question is not, are you loved? Do you have love? Do you experience love? If you are breathing, at some level, you are experiencing all the love that you are and have, you see. So what causes one not to notice? What causes one not to notice is that you are looking for a feeling, a specific vibration, let us say, feeling in the body and in the thinking of what love is. The dilemma with this is that there is not an experience of love, because all there is love. You see? Mm-hmm. Let us say it is like a fish in its water. Does a fish know it is in water? No, it does not. It just lives in water. It doesn't go thinking about, do I have enough water? You see? Is there enough water around me? The only way a fish experiences anything other than water is when somebody catches it and puts it in the boat, you see. And then it says, oh, I'm out of water. What do I do now? So it is with the experience of love. It is what you are already. The illusion is that you are being put in a boat out of water. You are not. Nobody is catching you and throwing in the bottom in the boat. So the love is already always there, you see. Now, that this is a given, whether you experience it or not in a minute, makes no difference, because you already are. Now, you may feel happier when you are experiencing, of course, this is normal. But you aren't experiencing it because someone is giving it to you. You are experiencing it because you are taking it into the world. The only way to experience the love you are already is to express it in the world. See? So you have been talking about responsibility, yes? Mm-hmm. And in what is responsibility have to do with love? Everything. Because in a responsible nature, in a responsible being, in a responsible vibration, it must be expressed in the world for it to be felt, for it to be real, for it to be known, you see. And that's where the joy of who you are resides. And so in all of these things, you become clear about what it is you want to do, how it is you want to create, what it is you want to occur, you see? From this place of knowing you are already love. The mistake you make is going to try and find it. Mm-hmm. I know if I married this one, or stay with that one, or go to my parents, or my brothers and sisters, or friends, or whatever, they will give me the love I need, you see. Well, again, that is an illusion. Now, it is lovely to be loved by somebody. What a wonderful thing. But it does not define you. You can experience that love from another because you already are love. You can experience that love from another because you are already that vibration, you see. The dilemma comes when you go looking for it. Mm-hmm. You say, I love you. And then you try to listen for them loving you back. Oh, I love you back. Oh, good. That is not real. That is illusionary. Because you are trying to find the love, you can't find it because you are already it. It is like a fish trying to find water. Where's the water? Well, you're swimming in it. What swimming? What water? I can't see it because you are in it already. You see? So when the fish accepts the swimming in water, then he becomes doing what fish do. And when you accept the vibration of love that you are already, then you go about doing what it is you do, you see, without the burdens, without the negative ideas, you see, because you have already found what you are looking for. The good news is you can stop looking, you see, because again, you cannot get enough love out of another to experience it for yourself. Do not try to get love out of a relationship, bring it to it.
Yes.
That is responsible. Do not try and get love by going to some class or some guru, you see, because that teacher does not have the answer for you. All they will tell you is what we have been saying is you're already loved. Now go do something with it. Stop sitting around on your backside trying to figure out what to do. The easiest way to begin is assuming that you are. Well, you said I am, so if I am, what do I do with it? What's the next thing? Discover this, you see, and clarity will come to you. This is the responsible thing to do, you see. When you stop blaming others for your condition in life, you become peaceful, not more angry. Anger is an illusion when you express it outside of yourself. Anger, like all emotions, is energy. You simply do not like it. And that is fine. What are you going to do with it? How are you going to express it, you see? And so all emotions are an expression of your love. Can you see this? Might be a bit difficult. All emotions, again, is the expression of your love. Because if you are getting angry at something, then you are experiencing in the disruption in the love. And so now you can repair it. So what is the truth about your emotion? Not the illusion. Keep saying to the self, no, I am responsible for this as much as I don't even like it. It's okay not to like something. It won't kill you. Your responsibility is to look at the energy, the vibration, the emotion, the physicalness, the thinking that you are. All of these things are an expression of the love you are already within. Very good. So, upon the questions in this time.
I'm always saying that be the love you seek, be the peace you seek, be the change you seek. So my understanding of what you're saying is that when we step into our love, who we are as love, we can then take action to change everything else around us because we already have the power within us. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, more so, you see, because once you accept and experience the vibrational universe that love is, God's love, all of this, you see, when you begin to experience it, you have no choice but to take it in the world. The next thing you're going to do is, oh my goodness, what do I do with this? Well, what you do with this is go to the next one, you see, and spread it about. You see, unconditionally, give it away, give your love away, give it, because there's no end to it. You cannot give all your love away. It's not possible because that's the only thing you are, you see.
So the more you give away, the more you become that love to give away even more.
Yes, the more you actually experience that. Not just the idea of it, ooh, this feels good. No, the actual vibration in the body, as the vibration excites the body, excites the cells, you see, and creates neurology that acknowledges love as it is in the world. So give it all away, give everything. Yell at the mountaintops, you see, whatever it is. Express the love that way, as boldly and as bravely as you can.
So when we seek companionship or relationships, whether it be a loved one or whether it be a business partner or just a synergy of friends, is that then a matching of energies that allows us to kind of connect on a deeper level or ride together in that love?
Yes, well, because all energy is the same. The same energy passes through you and your partner. You see, that is the same energy. There's no different energy in you that the other person doesn't have. That's why you can recognize another person and acknowledge that the love that is there between you. You
So
see?
it's the same signature that we're acknowledging
Yes,
of
it is
energy.
exactly the same. Now, there are some people who you will enjoy being with, some people you will not enjoy being with,
Hmm.
but that is personality and has nothing to
Yeah.
do with love, you see.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
engage with those who support you in this vibration, you see, and move through life this way.
We as human beings love to complicate everything. It's somehow become a condition that we have to do everything from the mind instead of listening to our soul and our heart and our spirit. And if we simplify and simply ride the energy that we are, the love that we are, the answers that we seek are always going to be there to guide us on our path. Can we find a way to leave our intellect, our brain intellect aside and trust our heart and soul and spirit to guide us? Because for so many people, they're afraid of letting go of the head intellect.
Yes. Well, very simply, all the head intellect is thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And thinking creates thoughts and thoughts and thoughts and thoughts and thoughts, you see. So the training in the body is to have the thoughts, not to react to them. You see? Enlightenment may be the time at which it takes you to notice the thought and let go of it and not be a judgment of it. You
Mm.
see? Begin to practice not judging the thoughts, not reacting to them, but having a thought and saying to yourself, is this going to support me in moving down this road of love? And as a result, also creating a life that I wish to have in peace. You see, ask yourself this question. If you can ask yourself this question, then you can answer it, and the answer will feel harmonious with the experience of love that you are creating.
Do you feel that in times of crisis, as we're in right now with the pandemic, do you feel that is a time that people either go the wrong way or the right way, that they step into that love and they become more energetic with that love in support of others, and that sometimes is the reason why we get these crises, is to ignite the love within us?
Well, to say that there is something causing this enlightenment win is not quite accurate, because it is the fact of physics, science, if you will, that this thing is here. You see? So it's not a matter of does it ignite? It does what it does. The question is, are you going to use it to ignite yourself, as you have said? See, you see, because White is here, Howard Scott, all of this is very interesting, but does not alter the experience of love. It can very well be a motivation to look at what is so for you now, given that things perhaps may feel a bit more difficult or they're a little upside down in your thinking. That is fine. That is a normal human condition to want to control things. You see? Part of the dilemma people are having with this in particular is that it looks like they're out of control. They do not have
Mm-hmm.
control of the disease. Yes, that is so. You do not at this time, you see. So
Mm.
there's much confusion about moving forward, what to do, how do I do it, all of this. So the answer to this very simply is stop and drop into the feeling of the vibration of love that you are. And then look at what is real in the world, in the three-dimensional world, and say to yourself, good, what now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is the time for that responsibility to step up, isn't it? And take responsibility for your part in it. Where is your loving energy needed right now? And how can you be responsible in helping ignite other people's self-love or love energy in general.
Yes, how are you going to bring it, you see?
Mm-hmm.
Because again, it is already there. Now you got to do something with it which enhances the experience fully.
Mm-hmm.
And now one more question, please.
Oh, gosh, you've answered so much here. Let me think of one more question. When we're looking at responsibility, we need to come from a place of love. And when we're in that place of love, when we acknowledge our love, we automatically understand responsibility. It is the how, as Tom pointed out right at the beginning of the show, of how to step into that. And not everybody has the ability just purely to embrace themselves as that loving creature. For a lot of people that are confused right now, how do they just embrace themselves as a loving energy without all the other conditioning and thoughts around them?
Well, that is just the point. You see, there is nobody who is incapable of this. There may be things and actions and experiences that make it perhaps a bit more difficult. They have to go through more. There's more things for them to let go of, but all are capable of experiencing and using this love. That is the first step. You say to the self, okay, although perhaps in this moment, I'm not sure, given that I am already this love, what do I do now? Keep saying that to the self, like a mantra, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
How can I use this love given I am already it?
Yeah.
Do not wait for the experience. Do not wait for some great vibrational clap of thunder to hit you in the head. It will not happen that way. It is a
Right.
simple thing. So go into the world and express it. This is how to become the experience of it.
Right. So be more the love, express more the love, and then you really will understand that you are the love.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Do the love in the world.
Yeah, exactly. Very simple. Very simple. Just be love, do love, spread love, and everything will kind of rectify itself.
Yes, Moso. Very
Mm-hmm.
good. Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And so, my dear, until the next of our coming, peace to you in this time.
And Tom is back. And the sad thing is, Tom never knows what beautiful wisdom is coming out of his mouth. So, but
I'll watch the tape, or Shelley will tell me later.
Yeah, exactly. Shelley is there to reiterate everything that goes on. You know, as Kuthumi talked about us today, is that we are the love. Be responsible for the love we are. And when we step into that love and be that love and spread that love, we become the answer that the world needs. And so the responsibility is just simply being love. And it's so simple. And yet people again want to overcomplex it. And how do I just be love? You know, and to realize, as he said, the thoughts, don't let them dictate you. If you're angry, what are you angry about? Do something about it. But when you come from the place of love, of being love, you'll find your peace, you'll find your love, you'll exude that out to others. And if others are having difficulty stepping into their own self-love, your loving energy will help them find their love. So it's really, quite honestly, just simply stepping into love, being it.
Yeah, and then using it, taking it
Yes.
into the world.
Yeah.
Affecting somebody else or something else, because sitting in the cave, and I've said this before, sitting in the cave for 20 years to become enlightened is interesting,
Mm-hmm.
but probably not that helpful.
No. Yeah.
You should find your enlightenment out in the world rather than in a cave.
Yes.
Because that's where enlightenment is best used.
Yeah.
Out there.
The experience of life, right? Going through the human roller coaster to ignite the spirit and the love that you are. And then, as you said, and Kuthumi said, it's not about the crescendo of a love. You know, when you have two energies that meet and those energies are really synergy, they're going to have some highs and some lows. And we kind of look upon that as the, you know, the lightning and everything else. And really all it is just some energies dancing together to reach greater heights. But it's in the lower energies, if you're still very much immersed together, and that's where those two loves are so synergy and so tight that they will always be in harmony with each other. But that doesn't mean your love is only reserved for a love partner. You can bring that love to everybody, and you're going to connect with them on whatever signature you're going to connect with them, whether it's business, friendship, just sharing out the love in the world. It's not kind of, you are the one love, but you're going to use your love instrument in different frequencies with different people.
Yeah. And I also do body work called cellular energy releasing. And what I tell people as I work with them is two things are going to happen. Things are going to get better. Good. We like that. Things may get worse. Okay. We don't like that. But both of those are good because that means the energy is moving.
Yes.
That means you're doing something. And that's what's important. What's important is getting into the world and pretty calm and making a difference. What that means is supporting others coming to a place in their lives where they're also using their lives, creating what they want and being in the world. Because the truth is, I think, Tom's never to be humble opinion, is that given that we're all the same, that when we start to heal, that trickles down.
Yeah.
You've got to bring that into the world, otherwise you're just sitting in a cave for 20 years and
right.
having a story.
And we did a beautiful show with you and Shelley, your wife, on relationships. And, you know, and where you're talking about in those relationships is the human relationship that in your beautiful long marriage of 49 years, you know, how you had a crossroads where you weren't quite sure whether you wanted to go on with each other. You had disconnected and you both decided to go and do your own journey into reconnecting to self and then bringing selves back together and realizing your energy was always in synergy, is that you'd thrown yourself out of sync, you know, with the human self rather than the spiritual self. And it, you know, I invite people to go and listen to it and watch it because it's so cute. They are just, you know, snuggling up together and you can just see the ball of energy. It's so lovely to see such love. It's wonderful and something we all need to be encouraged by. But it's recognizing each other as that the gift of the energy we have and the love that we're in has its own purpose. It has its own job here to do. And that when you dance with that energy, it may be just to help that purpose or share and celebrate it, or it may be something where you rejuvenate each other, but you're not going to know until you're willing to immerse yourself into it.
Yep, exactly. And, you know, people ask, well, when you had this difficulty, was it, you know, were you just thrown into it? Did you do it on purpose? And, you know, the truth is, I don't know any of that. All I know, we were in the middle of it and we said, okay, what do we do with this?
Yeah.
And we developed from that, the work we do as coaches, relationship coaches, the channeling I do and the work that Shelley does, Empower Women with Women, all of that fell from those experiences of us putting it back together in the way that we found a way to help other people.
Right. See, it's not about the two of you fixing each other. And it's not even about fixing, it's about realigning. Yeah. And you know, when you're in love with self and you are that love, you're back in alignment. But if you aren't in that love connection, you're out of alignment and therefore you're dysfunctional.
Yeah. And what both of us discovered is that we can't fix each other.
Right. And you're meant to. It's not your responsibility to fix each other. Support one another, but not fix one another.
That's not our job. So indeed, we took a different path, did some things, and brought our experience to each other and developed what we developed from those experiences. And, you know, we live, you know, for us, we live pretty, miraculous lives.
Exactly. As I
Like
said, you see the two of them together in the relationship thing. It's just, it's so cute. It's adorable. You both become so
well,
cuddly.
both of us have come to the experience of being complete,
Right.
and there's nothing to fix. Now, are there things to do? Sure,
Yes.
yeah, a bunch to
Always
do and
right.
a bunch to
Always.
learn, but I'm not trying to find anything anymore.
Right.
It may sound egotistical, but I've got it.
Yeah.
Now my job is to bring it out into the world, support other people, and that's really where the joy is.
Yes. And you kind of said egotistical, which I think is the human view of things. But we're saying I've got it, I'm in sync with self is the cosmic thing. And I think sometimes we just need to look at mine and go, no, this isn't egotistical. This is you're finally in sync and you're owning it. That's it.
Yep, exactly.
So we have to be careful also what we say with each other and also to ourselves, isn't it? Because, everybody's out there seeking to be loved, to love what they're doing. And the word love, of course, gets thrown around like candy and total misconception and illusion of what it is. But when you do step into that love, and it's not like, oh, I love me, I am gorgeous. It's not that kind of love we're talking about. It's when you are aligned with your core, and your core will guide you. It's always that compass that will guide you to do things from the
Yeah.
heart, from the
When,
soul, and be sincere
that,
with it.
I'm sorry. I know that people have got it when they say, "Oh, no, that feels right."
Yes.
Without
Yes.
all the basically saying, "Oh my God, I'm loved, I'm beautiful,"
Yeah.
then you aren't.
Right.
Trying to convince yourself,
Yes.
and you're the last one to believe you.
Right. And again, you talked about, the high, crescendos and the big lightning and all of that. And it isn't, I think what, my journey into self-love and love of what I'm doing, who I am, and the energy that I share out today, it is a calmness. It is a peace. It's not the roller coaster. I used to ride that roller coaster as the human, and constantly get nauseated by it, and now I'm just in a wonderful gentle wave of energy, and that it is, even at the extreme happy moments, it's not a high and a low, it's just an expansion of that experience of love that you just kind of take back into your core. So I think when we actually look at it as being, oh, it's got to be highs, I've got to have see bells and whistles, I've got, no,
No,
it's the
that isn't it.
calmness and the peace.
Yeah,
That is the truth.
that's how you know.
Yeah.
And it may be a little disappointing.
Yes.
I really want to feel this thing. Well, okay, that's interesting, but when you do feel it for real, when it's real, then again you stop looking for it and you start using it.
Yeah. Stop looking for the sugar high, right?
and that's when it becomes real.
Yeah. And when it's real, because as I said, that core, I can't do anything against my core. I can't, I'm constantly invited to go down different roads with different people. I'm sorry, my core says no. And it's just not my path. And that is always my compass, my guide. If I can put my heart and soul into it, I'm there. If I can't put my heart and soul into that, my compass will let me know this is not your path. And I honor that.
You start to feel what's in harmony with
Yes.
who you love.
Right.
And for us, really, the other things don't really show up that much anymore.
No.
We're really focused on, what we're doing, how we're doing it, supporting people, and the rest goes away. It isn't even a distraction.
Right. Yeah.
It doesn't
Yeah.
appear.
It's just riding a beautiful, wave of energy all the time, and peaceful, and there aren't the crescendos, because the trouble is that when you have big highs, you're going to have a big low, because that's the way the pendulum swings. So when you're just literally going back and forth as a breeze, it's just gentle. You're always in that beautiful zone, and it's not about the high and, oh no, I've got to come down now. Who wants that?
Yeah, exactly. And that's it almost sounds anticlimactic.
Yeah, I know.
And again, it is. where the excitement and the joy and experience of that love is, and again, I've said it a number of times, and I'm sure Kuthumi has said it as well, is bringing it into the world, because
Yeah.
there's nothing to do with it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's rather, like, it's not the fireworks that you're looking for, or the disco strobe lights. It's just that one light that can shine bright and then maybe dimmer down a bit and shine bright, but it's not about the big extension and coming down small. It's just a constant flow. I from my office here, I look out on abundance of trees, and I love it when there's a breeze. I'm seeing them dance and shimmer in the trees, and they're never going to be shaken to a point where they're going to lose their leaves. They're just dancing to the wind, and it's exciting to watch. But at no time is it, the hurricane. And I always felt that was the human condition, these highs and lows, and the hurricane and the turmoil and the tornado. And it always left me, misaligned and kind of at
Yeah,
dis-ease, And so
and
I have to take this calmness anytime.
the hurricanes and the blowing wind and all that, that will happen. It's,
Yes.
three-dimensional world, stuff is going to occur.
Yeah.
And again, it's how we are with it.
Yes.
Go through it and say, okay, given I am already this experience, and maybe I don't quite experience it fully yet, but I'm determined to get there. I'm passionate to get there. And so, given all that, in the middle of chaos, perhaps, what am I going to do? What's harmonious with me,
Right.
and that experience of love that I have and am. And when you start to ask those questions, you're going to answer them. There'll be an answer there.
Oh, yeah.
You got to be open, you got to be clear, you got to be willing, and most importantly, you got to let go of control.
Well, that hurricane, you're looking at, what do I need to do? I need to control this. Whatever nature, whatever's being thrown at you, it's not about you control. And it's really about finding your center in the eye of the storm and allowing what you need to know, because that will weave you through the storm or out of the storm in whatever you need to do. But the more we feel, I need to control it, what can I do? You're in that state of energy blockage. And you're not allowing, and it doesn't allow you to see the clarity that you need in order to get through.
Yeah. So keep breathing.
Yes.
Stay calm. Okay. You know what to do.
Yeah.
Don't let anybody or anything take you off of that.
Right.
Off of that point, and keep moving forward.
That's all we can do. And that sense of responsibility is stepping into the responsibility of your love and what it's here to do. Spend your love. Be your love. Be that beautiful light that other people need to shine bright. Don't dictate it, allow it, and you will know what it means as you use it. And it would just bring out the love even more in you, into a wonderful glow. And the more you do it, the more you love doing it, the more you love life, and the more you love you.
And that is the ultimate responsibility.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, I invite people to go back and listen to all your other shows, which of course all they have to go to selfdiscoverymedia.com, and it's under Dr. Shelley and Tom Negelow, Negelow, and there's so many shows we've done here, introducing Master Kuthumi, and then there's the women's leader during COVID with Shelley, and the energy love relationship, and mastering enlightenment, and a few others here. And just go and listen to the three of them, and of what they have to say, because we're all needing a little reassurance, sometimes a realignment, and sometimes just kind of, the words of wisdom is just like a warm blanket or an arm around you saying, I've got you, you're okay, or here's a little boost of energy that we need. So it's wonderful. But for people who want to reach out to you, for both of you, Shelley, put your head around.
Actually, she had to leave the room.
Oh, yes, okay. For both of you, with all the things you do, can you just give people the links that they will go to in order to kind of, talk to you about any of the things that you do?
Yes. They can get me through Dr. Tom Negelow, the voice of Unconditional Love. Our number is 678-828-9145. They can also email Shelley at shelleynegolo@gmail.com, or they can email me, tomnegolo@gmail.com, and we will get back to you just as soon as we can. And we invite you to listen to these channelings, and if you have questions or comments, we're open to hearing all of it from you.
And, go to Facebook, The Voice of Unconditional Love, where people can join that. And you share, all of your shows and channelings on there as well. And it's a wonderful, warm, loving place to be, because it's unconditional. And you're just, you're in building of that right now. And it's not about getting all the numbers. It's about getting the people who've stepped into heart or wanting to step into heart and needing that guidance. So Unconditional, the Voice of Unconditional Love on Facebook is a really good place to come and join you and kind of keep up with everything that's going. And if they need relationship help, they can contact either one of you, and just understand help is okay. Or what you're wanting people to do is to tap into that self-love, so they'll understand what it is they need and whom to ask for it. And we all need that guidance to do that.
We do it ourselves, but we don't have to do it alone.
Right. And even the best of us, sometimes we can get caught up in chatter, and or we don't realize that listening to a show or listening to Kuthumi, oh boy, they've just addressed something I didn't even know I had an issue with. And so, that's the beauty of, wonderful divine energy, is that it will always come to you when you need it. So you need to be willing to be open to receive it, even when you didn't even ask the question.
Yep. All you have to do is you got to wanna.
Yeah, exactly. Let go of everything else and just be open and ready to receive.
Yep.
Well, so good having you back here, Tom, and Kuthumi, and Shelley around the corner there. And, I invite people to go back and listen to all the shows. They're just going to be so inspired by it. Everything is so simple. Like, step out of the complexity of it all and just understand your heart is begging you to love you. And when you step into that heart and soul and spirit loving you, you'll actually truly understand why you're here. So thank you, love.
Thank you very much for having us and me again. We appreciate it.
Always a pleasure.
Stay in that love.
Yes. Love is what makes the world go round, and it's the reason why you're here. So step into it. I promise you, it is a wonderful place to be. So until next time, folks, bye for now. We hope you enjoyed the show. We look forward to bringing you more shows. Please go to selfdiscoverymedia.com/shows, and you will see the incredible lineup of genres and shows that we have for you. We are here to make a difference in your life. Thank you for listening.